and respect them, even if you hate what they're saying, especially if you hate what they're saying. This is, you have to be the change you wish to make in the world. And that is very much, I think, behind what we try to do in these conversations. It's not hard to get people to talk about gay marriage and religious rights. People are talking about it all the time, but they're fighting about it. And they're not listening as much as they're talking. Just thanks for your comments, and thanks to all of you for your comments and for coming and talking and listening.
Do this so I don't choke myself later. I guess I would say that there is no conflict between religious freedom and the rights of everyone in this country. That you can't have one without the other, unless we're all going to be exactly the same religion, which I hope we're not going back to that. But I also just, at the core, don't really think that the whole argument against homosexuality and rights for gay people has anything to do with religion, really. I mean, they cherry pick a couple of lines out of a huge book, and I got the number here. I mean, there's like 590,000 words in the Old Testament. 590,000, and there's a couple little lines that might pertain to homosexuality. I mean, and it's just curious to me, and I said this when we did a radio program, and the religions that seem, I think gay people, gay couples, gay relationships are a threat to something. I think they're a threat to certain kinds of marriages, because, and it's all about gender and gender roles, much more than it is about sexuality. And I think straight couples that share the housework and the woman gets to go out and work are just as much of a threat to those traditional gender roles as gay people. But I do think the threat is real. And I think it's very interesting that the religious organizations that have come out publicly, so publicly, against any civil rights for gay people are the religious institutions that are very, very patriarchal. Catholic Church, Southern Baptists, who do not allow women ministers, and certainly the Mormon Church. So there's lots of arguments to be made that homophobia and gender issues are very tied together. Actually, there's arguments that racism is tied into patriarchal attitudes as well. And they racists cherry-picked out of the Bible to get a couple sentences on why slavery was important and religious. And I don't think it's about a religion, I think it's about power.
Those same verses in the Old Testament come in a collection that also puts restrictions on things like pierced ears. Raise your hand if you have pierced ears, because that means we need to kill you. Conversation is where we begin always, I think, to move towards understanding. And so I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of that conversation. But of course, you have to go one step further. We are part of a society that has implanted deep within us the idea that conversation always creates winners and losers. And that makes the conversation more difficult. And so it's important that we continue to speak out for those things that we know bring about justice in a society that's worth having plenty of justice in.
I grew up in New Jersey and Southern California, where I was, New Jersey, I was not just virtually the only Mormon, I was the only Mormon. And then in Southern California, I was virtually the only Mormon, so there were a smattering of others around. And And, you know, I have lots of issues with my church, but it means everything to me. And so I guess the way I try and approach these issues is to think, how much space do I need to be who I really am? How much space do I need to be a Mormon? I don't need the entire society, but I need more than nothing. And I think that's the way to think about a lot of these issues is how much do I need, how much do I really need, and how much can I give up because most people aren't like me.
As my younger daughter, Marina, came out of a very dark, sad time in her life, she also came out. I don't think that's coincidental. And I was very thankful that I had had the benefit of some experiences before she informed me that she had a girlfriend and not Ashley and Sarah and all her other friends, but that she had a woman that she was in love with. And those experiences took me from a place where I had 30 years ago been quite homophobic, as my dad was. And through friends like Jane Marquardt and congregations like the Unitarian Universalist and a series of experiences, I was lucky enough to be brought along, and not easily, I might add. It took some pretty forceful folks. Discussions like this, I think, are key to that process. I love your analogy that you believe in or your statement that you believe in the slippery slope. It's perfect. I mean, there is a certain inevitability, I think, to the progression of civil rights. We ain't going back. And I'm also grateful that my daughter was born when she was instead of when I was. Because I think that her life working for the Pride Center in Salt Lake City and doing the good work that she does is a blessing that would have been much more difficult, if possible at all, growing up when I did. And so, in conclusion, I just want to thank these thoughtful, soulful, beautiful, bright, articulate panelists who fostered this dialogue. I want to thank the organizers, Jayson, Anna, the ACLU, Adrienne and the Diversity and Unity Center, who make this possible for us to come together and have this kind of informative discussion. And most of all, as other panelists have said, I want to thank you all for being that discussion and for making this possible. Is there any other recognition that we need to give that we haven't yet? Thank you all for coming out. Good luck to you.